Welcome to the 3 for 3 Meet the Candidate series presented by the Miami Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. The 3 for 3 series is being brought to you by our Social Action Committee. This committee works under the auspice of our organization's political awareness and involvement programmatic thrust and is charged with providing programs and activities that foster, among other things, voter registration and voter education. It is imperative to mention that the members of the Miami Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority are not and will not endorse or promote any candidate. To that end, we invite you to watch the 3 for 3 Meet the Candidate series. This series will offer you an opportunity to preview several candidates running for office in Miami-Dade County. In an effort of providing a level and inclusive playing field, we invited all of the qualified candidates running for Miami-Dade County Board of County Commissioners, Miami-Dade Circuit and County Judges, and the Miami-Dade School Board during this 2020 primary election. Note that some of the candidates did not respond to our invitation. Candidates within the same group were asked the same 3 questions where they were given a maximum of 3 minutes to answer. We hope that you enjoy our program. Remember to register to vote and to vote by mail for your safety. Now, let's meet the candidate.
Thank you, Regina. Today we have Lucia Baez-Geller, candidate for School Board District 3. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me to the Sisters of Delta Sigma Theta. This is a great honor.
We have 3 questions, and you'll have 3 minutes to answer each question. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
First question, who are you as a candidate, and what are your priorities?
Okay, well, as a candidate, I am Lucia Baez-Geller, and I'm a candidate for Miami-Dade County School Board District 3. I'm running because I believe in allowing every student the opportunity to succeed, and that was something that was afforded to me by my mother, who worked really hard to put resources on the table, and by teachers who really believed in me and who taught me to strive for excellence always. And so I learned the value of an education from them, but I also learned about my own passion for education. And so for the past 15 years, I have been exercising that passion as a classroom teacher at Miami Beach Senior High. And I've had the privilege and the honor to afford thousands of students the same opportunities that were allowed to me through my education. And why I'm running is because I have had that firsthand on the ground experience where I know what works and what doesn't work. I know the effect of good policies and I know the effect of bad policies in the classroom. I also want to be working to represent the issues that are happening right now with safety, with the overworking of teachers, the over-testing of students, the overcrowding of classrooms, which is so important and relevant right now, especially with what we're going through. So I want to bring that firsthand experience to my candidacy and to the school board. And what I'll be focusing on mostly is, of course, safety. We've been doing a good job at ensuring that our students are safe and that they have what they need in terms of a school resource officer at every school here at Dade County, but we need to do more. We need preventative measures. We need mental health counselors. For example, at my school, we have 1 counselor for 2,400 students, and that's definitely not enough. So we need to make an environment where students feel safe to learn and ready to learn, and they can put aside a lot of those anxieties that they have in their everyday life. I'll also be focusing on providing a world-class education for all students. And what that means is that we have to have greater broad partnerships between our schools and other entities outside of schools that will provide our students real-world, hands-on opportunities to apply what they're learning in the classroom. We also want to make sure that there's equitable access to advanced academics for all. We've done a great job of entering dual enrollment, advanced placement classes into most of our schools now. But now we want to make sure that the students in those classes represent the population in the schools, which means if we have a Title I school where most students are living under the poverty level, then we want our advanced classes to represent that. If we have a minority majority school we want our advanced classes to represent that. So I'll be looking to make sure that we have a representation in our advanced curriculum. Finally, funding, very important. We want to make sure we have enough resources to provide students with everything that we want them to do. And I will be doing that by advocating, lobbying at the state and federal level, as I have been doing this time. But also we want to make sure we have enough funding to keep our teachers, to incentivize them to stay, so that we can keep these brilliant minds within our district. I'm going to be working on these main ideas for starters, but I'll also be listening to the needs of my community to ensure that we're addressing them.
Next question. How will you work to achieve social equality and equity in education?
This is very important. And I think in order to address equity, what we really need to do is be honest with ourselves about where we are doing well and where we can really improve. So in terms of improvement, I think we could do a lot better with our curriculum. We need a curriculum that is diverse in its voices, meaning that there's a diversity of ideas, a diversity of histories being shown. What we really want is for every student's personal history to be in some way represented in the history that they're being taught. And by learning about ourselves and each other within the curriculum is really how we can use the classroom as a space for dialogue, where we can really begin to have the conversations that are going to move our society forward. We also need to be doing better in engaging with our cultural and community organizations, because oftentimes these are the people that have firsthand contact with the neediest communities. So we, even though they're not part of the institution, we want to weave in all of their information, everything that they know, into our classroom structure and school structure, because they're the ones that could really educate us about the needs of the community. And they can also tell us, because they're not shy. They already know what's happening, and they already know possible solutions, and they're ready to be heard. So I think we need to work on that. And finally, we absolutely need to be honest about the way that we're treating some of our neediest schools. I think the model right now has been to either test out ideas on our neediest schools to see if we can do better, but what we really need for them are tested and true ideas. They need the best teachers, not the newest teachers. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but they need those people that know what to do and are ready to bring up these communities. We also need to make sure that in these neediest schools, we're mindful of not just punishing them for bad performance or for behavior for this, but that we're looking to restore across the board in all of our communities, restore our students so that they can have opportunities to succeed. And as your school board member, I will be addressing the environmental demographic factors that traditionally have led to these schools being overlooked, and I will be working a fierce advocate for equity.
Last question. Why should we vote for you?
Well, you should vote for me because I'm tested and true. I have the on-the-ground, firsthand experience right now that we need. And what does that mean? It means that for the past 15 years as a teacher, I have been able to adapt and change to the conditions in our society. And I've been having these experiences, and I've been making sure that I keep up with the needs of the community. I've also been a great advocate, especially for inclusion of communities that are not very well represented. I've been fighting for them, asking the tough questions. I've been working with our United Teachers of Dade as a building steward for the past 5 years, ensuring that our contract rights are upheld. And these are some of the things that I have been doing to hold people accountable and make sure that student success is at the core. But most importantly, I've made education a priority. Between myself being a student and then being in the classroom for the past 15 years, I have been in a school for the past 33 years of my life. This has been my dream. I've been wanting to be a teacher, and this is the moment where I can see that I'm going to be there and I'm going to do more to stabilize our families, stabilize our profession, stabilize our schools, And I also want to bring everybody on board to have a seat at the table, which is something that I wish someone would have done for me. And so now I'm going to open up these doors. I will be a voice for everybody and their stories, and I will ensure that we have curriculum, safety, mental health resources, and a budget that represents our needs.
Thank you for being with us today, and good luck on your candidacy.
Thank you so much.